In your view, what happens next? If Sue Gray's report does come out this week, and potentially it might be a little bit delayed because of the extra stories that we saw towards the end of last week, that's a bit of a watershed moment.
Yes, and I think that's what an awful lot of MPs seem to be hanging on for. What they want to see is the Sue Gray report before deciding what they do next. And as you say, it may go into next week now, and we're all hoping we'll see it this week. So the Sue Gray thing is important, but again, I think there's been some misunderstandings about this report. It will be something that's purely factual. It's unlikely to start apportioning blame because it's not her job. She will probably put flesh on the bones of what we already know. And some of the details that she comes up with could be devastating for the Prime Minister. But the other problem there is, of course, that the Prime Minister is the one who commissioned the report. He can decide what happens to it afterwards. He decides whether he is innocent or guilty. So it's a bit of a weird process. I mean, what we are, the most we're hoping for at the moment, that the report is published in full and not just as a summary.
I expect it probably will be. I mean, I imagine the pressure would be so much on the Prime Minister that a summary just would not stick, and there'd be huge calls for that full report to be published. But I wonder, is it in the Prime Minister's interest that it happens sooner, so that all of these stories no longer trickle and they go out in one big go? It sort of draws a line under this affair? Or would he like this to stretch on a little longer so he can continue to say, perhaps at Prime Minister's questions, continue to say, oh, we need to wait for the report before we can discuss this?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That the longer it takes for this to come out, the better the Prime Minister is in, because this week what he's doing is he's trying to mount a fight back, which has been dubbed Operation Red Meat. And so we're expecting a raft of new policies, the kind of thing that will, the BBC licence fee being frozen at £159, the idea of the Navy taking over control of dealing with with migrant crossings of the Channel. So this is the kind of fight back the Prime Minister wants. And obviously, the longer he can keep that going, the better. Otherwise, Operation Red Meat turns into Operation Dead Meat.